because this motherfucker's on the fucking table, okay? And he's cut open. His immune system is not working. Most likely they fucking cortisol to make sure the shots, make sure his doesn't repel anything. So because of that, they can't allow anything to go into that system. A lot of complications happen because doctors left something, dropped something, or something foreign went inside them when their immune system wasn't working and the body can't fight against it. That's a lot of complications that happens. So keeping that in mind, that thing is meant to protect against a sterile environment because this person doesn't have their immune system on, so everything foreign can attack it and hurt that body and kill it. And it makes the surgery pretty pointless if something else is going to kill it. So they have to control all the variables and keep everything out because the human body's open. But when your human body is in working order and isn't cut open and doesn't have his immune system turned off, you are okay to go around viruses. It is something you're supposed to do. It's what you should be doing, because if you don't do that, then you will get sick and you will die around any fucking viruses. What happens when, you're not immune to a virus and it's a pretty serious virus? Well, your body breaks down. You get a fever, which is your body fighting against the fucking virus. All right, let's pause this for a little bit because that's going to be the end of the first video. And right about now, we're going to start rolling for the second video. Hopefully I can do the whole 15 minutes. Oh, that's a fucking fast plane up there. Anyways, okay. So they control that environment because they need to make sure that nothing enters that body. So what you're doing essentially in your house on quarantine, not letting you and your family out, is you guys are sharing all the same germs. You basically do this all winter long when you're inside the house when you don't go outside much. And then you go outside for 1 or 2 days, and then lo and behold, your kid has an ear infection and you have a cold. Okay, because you got exposed to different viruses that are attacking your body. You get a bug. How many times does the doctor tell you it's just viral? Nothing you can do about it. You just got to tough it out. That's your body toughing it out, getting used to this, and then you don't get sick again. And the winter comes around, something else happens. You get sick again. Well, what you're doing is the same thing right now, except you're doing it intentionally. You are in that controlled environment like the doctor doing the thing. And when you go out, you're wearing the mask to make sure that nothing comes into your fragile little surgery body that's on the table, except that's not the case. Your body is made to handle that. But what you're telling your body is this surgical mask, which is used to make sure none of you gets into a patient, you're making sure that no other germs come into you. Which is the point. This is what they're trying to tell you. But understand the nature of viruses and germs is so your body can build up against it. And if this pandemic wouldn't have been such a big fucking deal with the media and all that, we would have never known the difference. If you take that statistic, he talks about that 9,000 people that die of fucking food poisoning. If you take that into account to the number of people that have died from coronavirus, okay? And I mean, his stat, I think, is just for, I don't know if that's worldwide. I don't remember now if it was worldwide or not. I mean, the one I checked was like 10,000 people in 2012, something like that. And I don't know if that was just US or whatever. I don't remember. But it's like, holy fuck, he was right. And then I shut it off. So do your own research on that and figure it out. But seriously, are we going to start making a big deal out of this? Plus, I said this before, I stopped eating meat. But I didn't want to be one of those people that fucking say eating meat is bad, 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 bad. I like to say that, if you're going to eat meat, maybe you should kill the fucking animal yourself so you know exactly what you're doing and you're not fucking, insensitive just going to the store and looking at a fucking piece of carcass that you're about to eat and you don't even think about the animal that had to fucking die for that, and if that animal was killed and lived an inhumane life. It's one thing to go to a farmer or a butcher and this farmer takes care of the animal, lets it go outside, lets it have a fucking mate, lets it have sex, let it fucking eat and enjoy its life, and then when it's time, it kills it and then you get to enjoy that fucking food and you're thankful for it. Well, that's a whole different ballgame. But when these animals are like not even fucking alive or have a brain, or fucking living on intravenous and fatten up and steroids to get bigger and all that, and you're just part of that process, well, then you should be ashamed of yourself. But I don't like to be that guy. So I found out that people with autoimmune disease, when their immune system, autoimmune disease is when your immune system is so fucking strong it fights against itself. Eating an all red meat diet, only red meat diet, and thanks to Jordan Peterson and his daughters, how I figured this out, helps with autoimmune disease. And people are using that as a reason they should eat meat. And I'm just saying, if you already have a healthy immune system, then you should slowly get off the meat. In my opinion, this is what I did. Because at a certain point, when your immune system isn't strong enough anymore and you're still eating that red meat, well, then it's going to be too much. And the red meat's going to take all of your immune system just to fight off that red meat that it can't really process all that well. And then what happens whenever you get a virus? Well, then you get extra sick. And, you know, with the meat shortages happening, you know, you might be thankful that you got off the meat and your body can sustain itself just on plants and getting different proteins in your body from seeds and all this other shit. But, you know, autoimmune disease, and this is speculation on my part, but is it because you're giving your body a little bit of something every day to get used to, like he said, to practice? Your immune system needs something to practice against to get stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm not saying that, you know, if you eat meat all your life, you're going to eventually get sick. I'm saying if you get your immune system gets compromised in one way or another, and it can no longer fight against or do what it needs to do whenever it comes to the meat, if that is a thing, then you're double weakening yourself, is all I'm saying. But I think you can definitely eat meat your whole life and be fine and live into your hundreds and 90s and all that shit. So don't get that twisted. But here's another thing you can look at. This meat shortages. Why does the government want us to kill? Or if you listen to some of these cattle guys who are talking about the government or whoever coming in to euthanize their meat and get rid of meat. And Bill Gates also had a slogan saying he wants it to be a meatless world or something like that, meatless hamburgers or something like that. He bought stocks in companies to do that. So why does the guy who wants everybody to get vaccine, who's leading up to coronavirus, who's making the coronavirus a bigger deal than it is, why does he want people to stop eating meat? Well, there's a bunch of ways you can look at this, but let's say we're all inside the house and our immune systems are getting weaker because we're not around viruses. And the only way our immune system's getting any action is through meat, is fighting against meat. Well, not me, because I don't have to worry about any of that, but because my immune system survives on its own now without having to take in meat. It's strong enough all on its own. But let's say that's a way people get the germs from going to the grocery store. People get, you know, their immune systems are still getting strong enough of meat. And what if they figured out, well, if we take meat out of the fucking thing, then everybody's immune system, people with autoimmune disease only eating red meat, they're going to be done. And everybody else are going to get a little weaker. And the longer we keep them inside and then we fucking put them back outside, it's going to be no bueno. This round 2 is going to be twice as worse. Now, that's all speculation on my part. But connect the dots, man. It's not hard to fucking do this. And this is how you start conspiracies, like I said. It's not hard to start conspiracy, but think about that a little bit. Why is there going to be a meat shortage? How would a meat shortage benefit this whole autoimmune fucking disease they're trying to get on people? Because understand, coronavirus is not what we're worried about. We're worried about becoming the opposite of what autoimmune dysfunction or disease or whatever that is. Because like I said, autoimmune disease is a disorder where your immune system attacks everything, the good, the bad. It wants to be overworked. And then someone with a weak immune system, their blood cell count is not strong enough. So right now, this is basically what's happening. Where either they're trying to make our immune system so overwhelmed that when we go out into public, they're adding the mask to fucking make it worse. They're taking away the meat so you don't fight off it from the inside. And whenever you're exposed to it, you're going to be overwhelmed. It's pretty brutal the way you look at it. And they're making a big fucking deal out of all this shit whenever none of this should fucking be anything that none of us have to worry about. But yet we're all fucking worried about it. It's just fucking stupid and silly. But I want you to really think about all those things I just fucking said. From the meat to the fucking autoimmune disease and eating meat and how it strengthens you and all that and so on and so forth. But George Carling has a great fucking point down there that, you know, he strengthened his immune system by swimming in this shit. Guy's funny, man. I watched that like fucking 5 or 6 times in the last fucking 2 days, and I still laugh my ass off when I see that. But don't be that fucking pussy he's talking about, worried about all these fucking germs. And I'm not saying to go out there and just fucking start inviting people over your house and break all these rules and get yourself in trouble. Because there's people going public. Like, I make these videos and I kind of go against the fucking current and all that. And that's great. But I'm not in any way, shape, or form at this point in time. That could change, though. Because whenever it's time to fight, it's time to fight. But to just go out there, there's a girl on Fox who went out there and said, well, I'm opening because I need the money. And then she got thrown in jail. And it's a big deal on Fox. And to me, that looks like paid actor made an example of to scare the population. And before you say, okay, well, that's a bit of a stretch, Corey. Okay. How many people watching me have watched Friends? How many of you guys seen the episode where Chandler wants people to like him, or he needs to fire somebody, he doesn't want to fire somebody. I can't remember the exact circumstance, but he hires Joey, his buddy, as a guy that he can just fire. So people know he means business without him having to actually do the bad thing. And it backfires because Joey starts spreading rumors that he's fucking his wife and all that, and it teaches Chandler to actually learn how to fire his fucking friend, which is actually harder than firing a fucking stranger. So he learns a better lesson in the end, and all is well with the fucking world, and you can learn something from that. But you're telling me that doesn't happen in real life? It's a fucking news channel. They want the fucking ratings. Well, if there's not good enough news out there that has to do with the coronavirus, and you don't have anything newer than the other guy, what do? Well, you hire somebody to make your fucking news out of. You hire somebody to fucking pay to fucking go on record and all this bullshit. It's pretty fucking simple, and you scare the masses into fucking being little compliant little fucking cattle and sheep that you can put chips in and monitor and get sick and fucking knock off. Like, I don't know, that's what it looks to me. And I'm not the type that likes to spread fear. Understand that I'm explaining all this not to start fear. It's to enlighten you so you're no longer part of this process. So you're no longer part of the fear. All the things I say, if they put you in fear, I'm very apologetic for that. But at a certain point, you're going to rise above that. And you're no longer going to be in fear. When that moment happens, you are free. All the things you see scary, because everything I just explained to you, you know, you can see that and be fucking scared and like, oh my God, we're all going to die. What are we going to do? What's the point of doing anything? And that's not it at all. When all these things that I just thought of that I say, to me, seem like they're very likely and true. But none of it scares me because I know, ultimately, it's not going to happen. I explain it to you guys to get it out there, to expose it so that no one's going to focus their mind there. So the next time you hear this, and if it's in line with what I said, then you are going to be like, oh shit, he was right. So yeah, okay, there's nothing to worry about. This is all they're doing. It's like David Icke said. He said, don't be like, oh, why are they doing that, eh? Why are they doing that? What's going on here? What are they doing that? Don't ask that fucking question. Yeah, well, how did he fucking word it? He said, figure out what the goal is. And this way, when you know the goal, when you know why they're doing it, well, then the jig is up and they can't control you anymore. But when you're like, why are they doing that? Then you have when you don't think for yourself, then you have no choice but to believe the fucking story they give you. And the story they give you is almost always fake. Now, a story you come up with might not be the full truth either way, but if you're enlightened or know enough to know that what you're getting isn't the truth, then it's not going to have an emotional response on you. It's not going to trigger your neocortex to tell your limbic brain, to tell your reptilian brain to fucking implant a trigger here. And we don't want to know this. We don't want to remember this and put you into this automatic pilot fucking zone and put you in fight or flight. Because then you're at even more risk. They are attacking your body and your immune system on so many fucking levels right now. It's unbearable. And if you are not depolarized to be able to watch this shit, hear this shit, because there's no way around it. You can turn off the TV, like I said, and I hope to God you have already. But then you can go to work, you can talk to your family, and someone's going to talk about something, and it's going to trigger you. So if you're not being depolarized, well, then you need to understand and above stand and whatever else fucking Ralph says when it comes to understand. But you need to know this. You need to know that there's nothing to fucking worry about, because the main thing they're trying to do is take your perception, take your focus power, take your emotions, take all that and bring this into reality. They show you that they're working on this, and then they show you, the conspiracy theorists tell you that they manufactured this. They want you to think at the same time that they are this great organization trying to help people, and at the same time they're this evil fucking entity trying to kill mankind. Why would they want to show you both sides of the coin? Well, simply so in your mind you're overwhelmed with emotion and you don't know what to do, so they can manipulate you. Either you're for or you're fucking against, and you're in between, and you go back to back. And the more you're trying to figure out what they're doing by listening to them, they're just going to keep making you go, because once you decide, okay, they're good, well, then there's nothing to worry about. And once you decide they're bad and you're against them, well, then you're simply only in that zone, and nothing else will also work on you, which means someone who's only bad is not going to line up for that virus, and someone who is all good is not going to weaken their immune system, and all the other things come along with that. They're going to believe that they need the vaccine. Once they get the vaccine, they're going to be healed, and if they believe that enough, then they will be healed and they won't die. Understand that's also a possibility. Whatever you believe in is going to happen. So they want you bouncing back and forth. So the whole range of deceptive things work on you. Okay, that's what they want. And you don't want to be that. Be in the middle and realize none of this shit's going to affect you.